In some ways, this is the story of one extraordinary man. But more than that, it's the story of any person who faces a life-changing challenge and the promise that hope and faith can hold for them.
Gary, he can't see his assailant, but he knows he's there.
Sometimes the assailant lies in wait, a man with a gun. Sometimes the assailant lies within, a cell with a ceaseless appetite.
Come on, brother, fight!
Those that have been involved in firefights,
Come on, get to your weapon.
it can be a fierce, scary situation. It has to pale to what the mental anguish he's going through right now with the cancer.
Moving!
At the age of 40, Garrett Schlesser, state trooper, former Marine, former SWAT team leader, and father of 4, learned he had advanced non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Maybe that dad might die.
Metal and might, even medicine won't be enough. This will take hope and faith, and those aren't abstractions. As this story unfolds, Gary will need to draw on every ounce of it.
You got these dreams, and you have ideas, you have goals in life, you know, and so when you get news like this, you figure, they're gone. You know, there's no more dreams. There's no more goals.
He figures the despair of diagnosis lasted all of 4 hours until...
I got a phone call. I got a phone call from my brother.
He already sounded like he lost.
Ron Schlesser recognized the sound of despair. It had echoed in his own home. 7 years before, he'd been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
It's not a sentence of death.
He said, "Where is it written in a book that Garrett Schlesser can't survive?" He said, "Your life starts now." From that minute forward, I have never looked back. I've never said, I never ever said, "Why me?"
He has wondered why his wife.
Very sad.
And why his children.
I said, well, you know, we got the news from the doctor, and Dad's sick.
He told us that he had cancer.
Look at where the wind went. It's gone.
Carolyn is just 8.
It felt like someone just stole something of mine that was really fragile. It might have been the saddest time of my life.
Joe is 10. These are reflections from his treehouse.
When I'd try to get to bed, and then I'd all of a sudden think about it, and then I couldn't get off the subject, and I'd keep on thinking, and then I'd start crying.
What his parents didn't know is that he'd also journaled some of these reflections. Today, he leaves the treehouse and pulls the journal out from under his bed.
Joe just came down, and he sat down next to me, and he said, "I got something to show you." It started on January 2nd.
Dad gets medication for chemo for non-Hodgkin's disease. He is all right. I feel a little scared, but I am all right.
What does this one say? Dad is starting to get tired.
I guess this is a sign of cancer.
No, it can't be. But it is true. Dad is feeling great, and so am I. Wow, Joe, this is pretty powerful. There's a lot of emotion in here. Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. So, you gonna give me a hug? A big hug? No?
This is the kind of moment, a blessing really, that he wouldn't have experienced if he hadn't gotten cancer.
There's not much importance in life other than faith, family, and friends.
Faith, family, and friends have probably kept Gary alive.
I think he's going to make it. And that's just what I kept telling myself, you know, he's going to be fine, he's going to make it. His friends believed in him. So much so
that to not get better would have meant letting them down.
My brother. It's my good friend Danny.
I believe in the man. He's as strong as they are. But this was in somebody else's hands.
Let's do an angel of God together.
Someone else's hands. That's where the faith fits in.
This night be at my side to lighten God, to will in God. Amen.
Faith infuses this family.
Be especially mindful of Garrett. Help his body to get rid of cancer.
I just wake up each day and I say thanks. If tomorrow I go, then give my wife and the 4 kids terrific strength and understanding to carry on. For me, I'm comfortable. I could leave this world tonight and I would be comfortable.
Which isn't to say he hasn't fought. Radiation. 42 days of it pounded a large mass in his chest. 4 months of chemo had already knocked out smaller tumors littered all over his body. And in the midst of all that,
this is an extraordinary promotion.
A promotion to the rank of captain in the Minnesota State Patrol. He'd only made lieutenant 9 months earlier, an unprecedented rise. He was sick that whole time.
In the last year, he's demonstrated extraordinary leadership, extraordinary personal courage.
In those months when, it seemed awful dark, I just wanted to thank you for providing me that ray of light, that ray of hope.
Hope wasn't hard to come by in June.
Jeepers!
He'd just gotten the results of medical tests, and they were good.
His initial tumor burden is much decreased.
Well, even when he came home and said they didn't see anything on the last scan, I'm still waiting for it. I'm still waiting for that other shoe to drop.
It is September. He's at St. Paul Radiology for what's called a combination CT PET scan. Tumor cells will literally light up. He does this every 3 months, but this time he's worried about symptoms, fatigue, a cough, chest pain.
And you're just kind of wondering, wonder what that's all about. So it could be nothing. It could be nothing at all. Tomorrow we get the news. We're hoping for good news.
And it is, mostly. The large chest tumor keeps getting smaller. There's a small new spot in his chest, hopefully scarring from radiation.
Honest to God, as we sit here today, I do not believe that you've got recurrent disease.
We can handle this.
The next time won't be so easy, but they don't know that yet.
Now it's about living and caring and teaching.
Living.
I don't have the strength I used to have, and that's okay. I'm white. Now I do fitness so that if I live long enough, I can throw a ball with the kids.
Caring. Teaching.
It's a message of hope. It's the message of no despair.
Teaching.
This is all about surviving.
Gary Schlesser, newly appointed captain of training, helps teach troopers how to survive.
You stop the threat, you kill, you go on.
He teaches them, and the rest of us, what it means to be a warrior.
A warrior is that individual that fights even when there's no strength left. This ain't target shooting. This is we're going home. This is we're going home shooting. Good. We talk about the will to live.
You just have to remain real still.
November 3rd, more tests.
Last treatment 3 months ago, whole body imaging.
A pathologist measures the spot in Gary's chest.
Now measuring 1.9 by 1.7 centimeters in diameter.
It is bigger.
This is compatible with increasing active malignancy. Every time you go into that doctor's office,
Garrett?
You take those tests.
Hi, Guy.
And, you're just wondering, is there a bullet in that chamber today?
Should we just go over things?
I'm a simple guy. You got to put it in my terms here.
Likelihood that there is disease is pretty high.
Oh, darn it.
Because it did change. And because it did increase.
I thought I would beat this.
I still think you are going to beat it.
No, I'm not scared. I just don't want to hurt people.
He'll go home now.
I couldn't fight any harder.
And tell his family the cancer's probably back.
If he had cancer again, it feels like really, really bad this time. And if they said like he was getting super duper sick and the medicine wasn't helping, he said like he might die. They were sad times.
Fortunately, Joe's sad times wouldn't last long. The very next day,
They're all ready for you.
a biopsy at United Hospital in St. Paul to see if the tumor is cancer.
We've worked that needle into position directly into the mass.
They take 11 samples from a spot the size of a lima bean.
I'll get you another piece.
They work through the night so that by the next day, Gary has news for his family.
And he said, "You don't have to cry anymore." The doctors compared the cells of cancer and what I had, and they're not the same. And I was like, yes, yes. Dear Uncle Steve, Dad does not have cancer. I thank Jesus 100 times, 105. I said it. I counted on my fingers.
At his promotion ceremony, friends gave Captain Schlesser a Marine print with this inscription: "Of every 100 men in battle, 9
are real fighters. We are lucky to have them. They the battle make. But the one of them is a true warrior